Hey, we're back. John Fredericks Radio Network. Sorry about that. With us now live is Senator Bryce Reeves, Stafford Republican in the state Senate in Virginia. Senator, great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us on short notice.
Oh, no problem. I love talking and getting on the show, and thrilled you let me host there that one time, and ready to come back when time avails itself.
All right. Well, I got a trip on Friday to Atlanta. Joseph's pitching there in a tournament, and then in 2 weeks I've got to go to Fort Myers. So we'll have you then. I will give you more than a day's notice, though, that I did this time. So thank you for doing that. But listen, I really want to get your take on. I was shocked that qualified immunity passed the House yesterday. I was shocked because it got defeated 2 times. I had Scott Serville on my show driving into the special session, who said there was no way it was going to pass, like it was not even on anybody's radar screen. Nobody had a bill. It passed the House. Now it goes to the Senate. Do you guys now need 2 Democrats to vote no, or it's law?
No, you're right, and we've been saying this all along. In fact, we put a video up on our Facebook page talking about that and this kind of radical agenda that the left is running, and the folks that are in charge of the process, and what's kind of coming down the pipe is the far left wing of the Democrat Party. And so I think some of my colleagues in the Senate on the other side of the aisle are a little worried. In fact, I know they're worried. And, I don't know what they're going to do, because you see this infighting on their side. If you look at, I think it's Schuler, Delegate Schuler, and some others have gone after, that they're going after each other. And there's some grandstanding that's taking place. The delegate that booed Trump when he came down to Jamestown for the celebration there. I don't even know the guy's last name. I don't even know half those guys. They're so new. Anyway, he's the one that supposedly said he did what he did on the rules. But the real issue here, though, is this is going to put law enforcement in jeopardy. I mean, in the way we look at it, people don't understand what qualified immunity is. And John, basically, it's a good Samaritan law for law enforcement. And what it says is this. It says that if you're in law enforcement and you've gone through the academy and you've been taught the basic course, which is over 500 hours of training, mm-hmm. and growing now after the session because of some of the things that they're trying to accomplish and pile on, meanwhile taking away some of their monies. If you do all those things and you abide by the law and you enforce the law in accordance with the rules and regulations to which you have been vested within the powers that you have as a law enforcement officer, mm-hmm. then it just says that, and you don't violate anybody's civil rights in doing it or use too much force in enforcing the law and those sort of things. You abide by all those rules. Then when someone who says they were aggrieved sues you, then the state's going to pick up the tab and they're going to back you. In other words, you're going to have legal counsel and everything else. Doesn't mean you can't be sued. Mm-hmm. Just says that you're immune from that prosecution or that civil suit, I guess, not prosecution, that civil suit, because the state's going to be your attorney. Now, anywhere along that chain, you screw up, you find that something went wrong or you violated someone's civil rights, or you used excessive force, like in Minneapolis, well, not only will you be prosecuted criminally, but you can face civil liability. And so cops are sued all the time. It's just that qualified immunity allows them the opportunity to have some peace. And what you're going to have, and you've already had it, okay, it's already happening, and you know this. I'm a sworn deputy again right. in Culpeper County. I was in law enforcement a number of years. I'm the last cop in the General Assembly. What you're going to have is people leaving. And trust me, they're getting the emails because I'm getting them by the hundreds every day from law enforcement families, and everyone else. They're going to check out. So if what they're trying to do is dismantle police, make our streets unsafe, they're doing a great job at it. They're doing a phenomenal job at making it easy for there to be civil unrest, more rioting, more looting, more pillaging, more burning, all those sort of things, because they're not supporting law enforcement. Look, Leader Norman, even said on the floor, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, who knows how long we've been in special session now, that we can have that discussion, but is right now the time to have that discussion when, morale and departments is at its all-time lowest? We're just going to go ahead and throw some more fuel on the fire. Let's just pile on and kick them while they're down.
It's unbelievable.
Right? And that's not leadership, John.
No.
That's being a bully. That's being, going along with the mob mentality. We need people that are going to stand up, stand in the gap, stand shoulder to shoulder with those folks who go out every day. Every day they get on, they suit up, they put on their body armor.
Right.
They don't know when the next traffic stop they make. They're not going to be faced with somebody who just did a heinous crime and says, I can't be stopped no matter what, and take one in the chest.
Right.
I mean, give me a break. What is going on? It's the insane asylum.
Well, and the fact that the Democrats said they weren't going to pass this, and you look at the House, this was shocking to me. I mean, we covered every day in the Virginia Star. We've got somebody there. First it can't get out of committee. I'm like, it's dead. Then it gets out of committee. Then they don't have the votes to pass it. I mean, it wasn't, 3 Democrats vote no. Then it comes back again. Then they pass it. Because the problem the Democrats have now, Senator Reeves, is they're under such pressure by the progressive left and social media. If they don't toe the line, they get skewered, then they get afraid, they get hammered. So they change their votes. Now it passes. Now it's going to the Senate. All right? So the governor's going to sign it. I don't care what he says. He will sign it because he's under the same pressure from the mob on social media. And basically, he wouldn't even be there. They allowed him to keep his job as governor. So he's going to do whatever they say. He's their tool. You and I both know that. So the only way you stop this is to get 2 Democratic votes in the Senate voting no. That's it. Otherwise, you're going to have qualified immunity in Virginia. It's going to pass. My question is, do you have 2 votes?
Well, let me say this. There are some very reasonable, prudent, responsible members of the Senate who don't fold under pressure. And I will tell you that because I have served with them. I've worked with them on committee. We might not always agree on policy, but some of those folks on the other side truly are good people and good friends. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, some of them aren't looking towards their next reelection, unlike a lot of the House members who have only been there maybe 1-2 terms and are looking to move already up to be governor and attorney general and lieutenant governor. I mean, these folks are trying to be the next AOC. And unlike that, in the Senate, you do have folks that have a spine. I think they've read the book by Kennedy that says Profiles in Courage. Mm-hmm. And so I do think there's a good opportunity that bill will die in the Senate. It undoubtedly will probably go to the Judicial Committee. I would assume it's going to go to that committee. It could go somewhere else. But, here's what's happening is you're having the long knives pulled out between the House and the Senate, and the Democrats in each of those chambers. And so it's interesting to watch. There's not a lot we can do other than to amplify and bring some light and shine some light on that issue. And then as people are listening on the call today, look, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. There is something to truth and justice. And look, you're not going to find anybody that's going to condone some of these heinous acts that police have done, in these isolated incidences across the country. But the truth is there's 40 million police contacts a year, 40 million police contacts. And the percentage of these kind of incidences happening is very, very small. And yet the media amplifies those. And, they're half the media is a lot of the reason why some of these things are amplified. And then you have these out-of-state monies bringing in these groups. I mean, this is Solinsky rules for radicals. Mm-hmm. And that's what's happening to the Democrats in the House. If they're going to come out and, you see these tweets and they're going after each other, and if they can't attack the issue, then they attack each other personally. And that's right in with Solinsky's rules for radicals. So, I mean, this is the world in which we find ourselves now. And it's sad for me as someone who does believe in the rule of law and understand these sort of things and worn the cloth and worn a badge and still does it today.
Right.
But I'm going to my last breath, argue and fight for those who do this each and every day, because I understand that sacrifice, John. You understand that sacrifice, and I would say the most of your listeners who get up early in the morning and listen understand that, but they need to be heard. They need to call these senators. Doesn't do any good to call the House members now. They're a bunch of crazies, and they've done what they've done. But call your senators, encourage them. Don't beat them up. Just encourage them and say, hey, listen, do the right thing. We'll be there for you on election time. Because all these folks in the Senate, they're all going to get primaried now, I'm sure, right? They're all going to get primaried. All the Democrats on that side who go with law enforcement, they're going to get primaried, as well as those few House members.
Well, that's the dilemma they're in. I mean, if they vote against qualified immunity, if they vote against this whacked plan that basically strip cops of the protection, and I don't know how you're going to recruit them. There's going to be a mass exodus out of Virginia for law enforcement. But if they vote no, they will get primaried, and their opponent from George Soros and others is going to raise millions of dollars. And that's the dilemma they're in. Maybe you got a Cray Deeds out there. Maybe you got, a Chap Peterson. But what is going on in Virginia right now in the Democratic Party is sad. It's really sad. And the radical left fringes have taken over. That's why I'm telling everyone that you don't write the state off, because there's going to be a counterbalance to this, Senator Reeves, in 2021. I think it's going to show up in November. I think the Trump campaign is going to do much better than you think it is. I think it's going to be closer, but it's also going to show up in 2021. I mean, average people are now looking at these whacks and saying, "Oh my God, what did I do?" And there's going to be a reaction.
John, I agree 1,000%. One of the areas that they talk about being a play is, quote, suburban soccer moms, right? That whole, who are these women, this group of people that's out there that's a voter base? Well, let me tell you who they are. They're the people that are listening to the radio right now, and they're watching the news, and they're watching Richmond burn, and they're looking at the paper, and they're not seeing any prosecutions. They're not, they're seeing COVID spread because, oh, wait, you're in the mob? Oh, you don't have to wear a mask, right? Nothing's enforced. And then the true people that are actually are probably more well-to-do that live in those areas, some of those areas that have had all this stuff happen, they're saying, well, gosh, that's only 3 streets over from where I live. When, I've got to worry about my kids. Do they walk to school? Are they even going to school? They're not safe. They're not safe. Their kids aren't getting educated. Look, most of the people that I associate with and that are friends that I go to worship with at church, they're not teachers. They don't want to be teachers.
Right.
Yet they're having to homeschool.
Yeah.
And then now I got to worry about, okay, well, can I go to the grocery store?
Unbelievable.
I got to worry about COVID. Now I got to worry about, is my car going to get broken into? Is it going to get damaged? Is my property going to get, all these sort of things. And I'll tell you what else they haven't realized is businesses are going to start pulling out.
Right.
And it's going to hit us financially, and yet we're going to want more. And then they say, oh, well, we're never going to defund the police. Really? Tell that to Lee Carter, who's put it in a 25% decrease in police, Virginia State police funding. That's defunding the police.
And attacked police and brags about it and raises money off it on social media. I mean, that's the sickness that has infected the Commonwealth of Virginia. Senator, I'm out of time. I really want to thank you for your short notice. Hang in there. We'll have you back soon. John Fredericks Radio Network. Your calls when I get back.